it's Sarah from Sassy, and today I am bringing you my sci-fi book haul from the month of August 2016 to now, June 2017. I have 7 books, and I have also filmed book hauls for my fantasy and horror collections. Well, book hauls. I don't know what to call that, but I'll leave those down below, or maybe I'll create a playlist, and you can just watch all of them. You can choose which genres you're interested in. I know some people hate horror, but are interested in fantasy, love sci-fi, but hate fantasy. We can just pick what you want. There's going to be a whole lot more. These are not the only genres I'm doing. I have so many. But first up, we have the one book that I read in this genre is Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. I read this book a long time ago in high school as a freshman, and I reread it as a freshman in college. Of course, it all comes full circle, right? I read this for a dystopian, I talked about 3 dystopian novels, 1984, Handmaid's Tale, and Fahrenheit 451, and the censorship that occurs in each 3 of these dystopian worlds, and how it depicts the future of of humanity if there is censored books, and what it could do, and how it could damage children. And yeah, that was my paper, and I enjoy this edition because it has the history and content and criticism of, Ray Bradbury. And there's pictures. Look at that. The fireman. What? Yeah, I know, right? So cool. There's pictures. There's a lot of interesting information in here, and it's pretty fun. I gave this 4 stars. It's a good one. Not my favorite dystopian at all, but it's pretty good. There's a lot of great sections in here to discuss. A lot of interesting concepts. And plus, it's a book of matches. I don't know if you caught that. I looked at this one day and I was like, oh my gosh, it's a book of matches. And then they burned the book, and the book of matches. And I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, it's a pun. Isn't that funny? I'll go home. Anyway, the next book I have is an ARC. I won this from Goodreads, and I haven't read it yet, but that's okay because I actually am really excited to read this one. I'm planning to read it hopefully this summer, not this summer, once the semester starts, if I have time. And it is called Winter Tide by Ruthana Emrys. It's gorgeous. This came out in April 2017 by Tor, so it's a recent run. This one's cool. I'm going to read you half of the summary because that's all I feel like reading. 2 decades ago, the U.S. government rounded up the people of Innsmouth and took them to a desert prison. For from their ocean, their deep one ancestors, and their sleeping god, Cthulhu. Only Afra and Caleb Marsh, of course them damn Marshes, survived the camps, emerging without a past or a future. Now it's 1949, and the government that stole Afra's life needs her help. FBI agent Ron Spector believes that communist spies have stolen dangerous magical secrets from the Miskatonic University. Secrets that could turn the Cold War hot in an instant and hasten the end of the human race. Yes! 1. I love history. 2. The Cold War is really fascinating. Really fascinating to me. I think it's so interesting, and I love the tension. If you're interested in watching a movie that is a satire, I recommend Dr. Strangelove. It's like a black and white film. Pissed a lot of people off. Really funny film. Great movie. Highly recommend it. It deals with the Cold War. But this also is a Lovecraftian horror novel. Sarah can't talk. She's speaking Cthulhu language right now. Like how Cthulhu has a language, and it's random letters in the book, and you're like, well, how would you even pronounce that? I've always wanted to listen to a Lovecraft audiobook and just see how these people are speaking the Cthulhu language, because I think it'd be so funny. But anyway, Innsmouth, those are the creepy ass fish people who they set my teeth on edge. They had their skin looked kind of like scales, but they were white and pasty, and they had white blonde hair, and they were full of interbreeding, so they were just creepy. But then we have the Miskatonic University, which holds, of course, Necromonicon, which is basically the easiest way to describe it is a satanic Bible, pretty much. And anyone who's evil is gonna try to have the Necromonicon. And there was even like a big monster who like came into the Miskatonic University at one point and like had a fight with the librarian because the librarian wouldn't give them the Necromonicon. It's pretty interesting. When you describe Lovecraft in a smaller sense without like all of his over dramatic, you know, descriptions, it's fun stuff, but I'm interested in picking that one up for sure. The next one I have is the Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury. Yay, another Ray Bradbury! This was really famous. It's even like referenced in Twilight Zone episodes. If you can't tell, I love the Twilight Zone. But interesting enough, there's this kind of table of contents called a chronology, and it starts in January 1999 and ends in October 2026. And I don't know, it made me think a little bit because I was like, wow, this book was written a really long time ago. And 1999 back then felt like a lifetime away. 2026 is very close now. Like, think about it. That's crazy. I'm excited to read this one because, you know, Martians. The next book I have is signed, and I got it at Target, so, like, it was a good deal. It is Gemini by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. And, of course, it sticks to, you know, the Illuminae case file approach with the big white hardcover that looks like a massive case file. I love it. Like, I just love how these books look. I haven't even like cracked it open because I don't want to spoil myself. And they even signed it in blue so it matches the cover. I just love that. And yeah, it of course sticks with the whole style of sci-fi that Illuminated. And I liked Illuminated. I gave it 4.25 stars. Which is a high rating for me, because I'm picky. But I really enjoyed Illuminate. I'm excited to pick up Gemini. I think I'm going to wait until Obsidio comes out, that way I don't have to wait. But yeah, the next book I have is, guess who it's by? It is by, she's kind of like blowing up right now. Everybody wants to read her books, which they should want to read her books, because Margaret Atwood is freaking amazing. The Blind Assassin. I got this at my bookstore, my local used bookstore, and I like, oh, there's a bookmark in here. Why y'all didn't finish this? Where's this from? Barrow. Oh, Florida. I've never heard of that book center. That sounds fun. Maybe I'll go check that place out. Anyway, this one is interesting because it follows a girl whose sister dies at the end of World War II, like, it's an accidental death, and it also follows the novel The Blind Assassin. It is a science fiction story improvised by two unnamed lovers who meet in the dingy backstreet rooms. And yeah, I like Margaret Atwood, and I think this sounds really good. It's the winner of the Booker Prize, and you know, Handmaid's Tale won the Pulitzer, so she's an amazing writer. I just love her. The next book I have is, guess who it is? I'm sure if you saw like my horror book haul, you're like, oh my god, is it him again? Yes, it is. It's Stephen King. I have The Dead Zone. I saw the movie for this, so like I know what it's about, but like that's not gonna stop me from reading it because I want to. This is about a man who can see the future, and he ends up like seeing something that deals with the president, and you know, if you've seen the movie, you know, but if you haven't seen the movie, then you get to go into this book blind, and then that's fun, right? And again, this cover is so cool. I like it. I like it. Oh, look. Listen. I love how these books sound in comparison to other books. They just make the like funniest noise when you do that with them. The last book I have is Cat's Eye by Margaret Atwood. I didn't know where to put this because it's literary fiction, but it's kind of got a sci-fi feel. I mean, look at the cover. And the back doesn't really tell you a lot about what it's about, but it's Margaret Atwood, and I got it at a used bookstore in Galveston, and I was like, I need it because it's Margaret Atwood, and it's $5.98, and her books are expensive. So yeah, these are all the books that I've got in the sci-fi genre. So let me know if you have read any of these, or if you want to read any of them. Let me know if I should check out certain sci-fi novels that you just think are freaking bloody brilliant, and I will definitely put them on my TBR if they're not there already. And yeah, these are the books. These are the books. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Anyway, that's a sign that I should be telling you guys bye. So I hope to see you down in the comments. Adios.